Today you'll learn how to change the shape of any object using the Puppet Warp tool. Hey there, my name is Ali. You can find all my work on Instagram on the screen in front of you. And today we're taking this photo and making it look like this. Okay, let's get started. We will pull our first photo into Photoshop. And then we will take just a heart photo. Just as a reference, we will use it. And then I'm gonna rotate this 45 degrees so it matches. Oh no, wait. First, I'll increase its size. Then rotate it 45 degrees so it matches the environment. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press R, which is the rotate tool. Then I'm gonna rotate this 45 degrees. So now I can get a better look on how my heart is gonna look like. And then I'm gonna just increase the size of this one a bit, like this. So it looks like a heart. And I'm gonna like reduce the opacity so I can see below. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna use something called the Puppet Warp tool. But first we need to unlock our background layer because we can't edit it with the lock layer. So we just click on the lock. Then I'm gonna go to edit and we will find Puppet Warp. What this does, it creates some sort of a grid where you can put your own points. So I'm gonna just put like some control points all around the frame. Okay, now I wanna move the edges to match the heart we have here. So I'm gonna add my first point here and just pull the green so it matches the red. I'm gonna push this one inside a little bit. Yeah, and then I'm gonna pull this one out, pull this one so it matches like the outline of the heart. Pull that one, also pull that one. Here I wanna like pinch that one down a lot, and then maybe pull this one a little bit. This one needs to go down, 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 and here you see the green here. I can see it like below the red, so I'm gonna pull this one like that and just keep on pulling until I'm matching the outline. Okay, you see here, this part needs to go back a little bit. And this part maybe a little bit like that. Okay, let's see what we did. Let's close the heart now. Okay, now it looks like a heart. It looks very like good now. So I'm gonna go again to the rotate tool or press R and just hold shift and rotate this one back till my canvas is proper. Okay, I don't want my heart to be like aligned to the left, so I'm gonna press Ctrl and T and just rotate it till it looks good. Okay, now it looks good. But our canvas, like we have all these now, this is a problem. So I'm gonna go to the crop tool and just reduce the size a little bit from here, and I'll reduce it a lot from here. Okay, now we still have a problem with the like missing parts. So I'm gonna fix that by something which is the clone stamp tool. So I'm gonna go to my clone stamp tool, make sure it's only current layer. It works just like a brush, but you hold Alt, you press click, it clones from here, and then it puts it somewhere wherever you want. So I'm gonna keep clone stamping until I fix all the missing parts. Alt click, and then I clone stamp. And also we're gonna fix, like, it won't look very good at the beginning, but we're gonna fix it, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay, I need to clone like from many different areas, so it doesn't look like it have some sort of a pattern. Okay, now we'll have a problem with the different colors. This is too blue, this is too green. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lower the opacity so I can start blending objects together. I'm gonna take some from the blue, put it onto the green, with a low opacity, and then from the green and put to the blue in a low opacity, so it gives us some in between color. Then I'm gonna like keep doing that from many different places, maybe even from here. I'll clone stamp. I don't want to get from the island, I'll get from here, something like that. Maybe from here, something like that. From here a little bit, some from here. I'll just keep doing it in a random way until I have some sort of a smooth sea which doesn't have anything that looks like off or something. Make sure you don't clone from, like, if it's 100%. If I clone from here and I press click, you see what happens? The edge starts to appear. We don't want that. Okay, then this is too bright and this is too dark, so I'm gonna clone a little bit from here. But wait, I'll just lower the opacity. Clone a little bit from here to match the color a little bit. Then I'll go to 100 opacity again to fix that final part. I'm gonna start cloning. First it might look off, but then we'll do the same blending technique we did. Okay, then we'll just lower the opacity and start taking from different parts so we blend it completely. Maybe some from the blue also. I don't want to get into the island. Some from the blue here. I don't want the edge. Okay, something like that. That was a little bit strong, so I'm gonna add some of the green on the island. Something. I'll take from here. Make sure the white is not too visible. From here. Here. Okay, that line, I want to get rid of it. Oh, no. Okay. Again. Okay, I'm gonna just clone from here and make sure I remove this. Clone from here and just remove that line. Okay, now we have our island. It looks good. It needs maybe a little bit of rotation. I want the heart to look, and then I'll just increase its size a little bit just to get rid of this. I don't use the clone stamp again. Rotate a little bit. Okay, now it looks like it's aligned. Okay, that's good. We have our heart island. Now we're gonna add our boat. So the images actually are available in the stock, so you can like download them and follow along. To cut this, what I'm gonna use is my magic wand. It's like it's too light and the water is too dark, so it's gonna be easy. Just few clicks with the magic wand. Make sure I get the inside parts as well. And then I'm gonna press on the layer mask button. It will mask what I don't want, so I'm gonna press Ctrl and I to invert the mask. Okay, now I'm gonna use my brush. Make sure it's hard brush, 100 opacity, because there are some leftovers. But if I paint like this, it's in white. So I'm gonna change it to black and then start painting. This will delete. I don't even want that weird object at the back of the boat, so I'm gonna like erase it. Okay. Then I'm gonna just like paint all around the boat just to get rid of anything excessive that we did not select by the magic wand. Okay, now I'm gonna put the boat. You see, we have some excesses here, I forgot. Okay, so I'm gonna paint here black also. Okay, now I'm gonna move my boat, resize it. I want to be going to the middle of the heart, so I'm gonna place it maybe somewhere here and adjust its size, something like that. So it's telling some sort of a story. The boat is like going to the heart. Okay, now I want to make it a little bit more realistic, so I'm gonna press right click and go to blending options, and then I'll do a drop shadow layer. What this does, it throws a shadow, but I don't want it to be like that far away. I'll just move it by my mouse here and maybe increase the size. This will feather it a little bit so it's not like sharp edge. No, that's too strong, something like that. That's the opacity of the shadow itself. Okay, now we have our boat. Just to make sure it's aligned in the right place, I'll pull just align to make sure it's aligned. So it's aligned on the right place. I'll just delete that. Okay. Now we need to do the heart in the middle. So I'm gonna again use that heart, but I'm gonna like straighten it, make it smaller, increase the opacity to 100. Maybe we need to add like some sort of water heart in the middle. So I'm gonna do that, putting that heart here. Okay, now what we are going to do, we're gonna first create a new layer. Let's call that heart in middle. Okay, then I'm gonna press Control and click. Now I got the selection from this heart. Now I don't need that layer anymore. I'm gonna close it. Then I'm gonna go to the clone stamp, but you have to make sure it's on current and below. So it samples from the below layers. And make sure it's 100% opacity. And then I'm gonna use this water to put it here. So I'm gonna just, maybe I'll reduce the opacity a little bit so I make some variations. I'll take from this water, Alt click, and then I'm gonna put some water here. Then Alt click, put some water here. Alt click, put some water. Alt click, put some water. Okay, that's good. Of course, it looks horrible because it looks really fake, but we're gonna fix that. Okay, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna add a layer mask, and then I'll use my brush in black. This will erase, but I will erase using some custom brushes. I'll use ones which are already built in Photoshop. Maybe this one. Make sure it's like smaller, something like that. And I'll just lower the opacity a little bit. Maybe I'll start like just randomly erasing some at the sides of the heart, just to make it like not very sharp. Okay, something like that. I'll just use this one. It's also built in your Photoshop. It's a bit too strong. I'm just gonna like lower the opacity, and I'll just, this will add like some sort of leaves or something like that. I'll just add some, give it some variation. Then I'll go to this one maybe. This is too strong. Make it something like that. Add some, just to make some variation. And then maybe okay, I'll go to the blur tool, and I'll just blur the edges so it doesn't have that sharp, very sharp edges. Yes, more blended. Okay, good. Look, now it looks, if I close this, it looks way better. But then we're gonna do also one thing, right click on the layer and go to blending options, and you will find something called inner shadow. I'm gonna open that inner shadow. What this does, it adds shadow inside the layer itself. So I'm gonna make 100%, and then I'm just gonna increase the size a little bit, just the size. So it will put shadow, like inner shadow, to all the edges of the heart, but I'll do it with like less subtle effect. Okay, now I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, it looks good. We can add one more thing. I'll add a new layer and go again to the clone stamp. Make sure it's 100% current and below. Press right click, increase the hardness a little bit. I'm gonna clone stamp a tree by pressing Alt on the tree, and then I'm gonna put it maybe here. Okay, now we have a tree. I'm just gonna reduce its size a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna right click, blending options, and do a drop shadow, and maybe put it here. Reduce the size, reduce the distance. Maybe you have some sort of a tree throwing shadow on the lake. Okay, something like that. I believe the shadow is too strong actually. I'll move it back a little bit and reduce its opacity a little bit. Okay, now we made our tree. Okay, one more thing I wanna do. I wanna do like some water trail to the boat. So I'm gonna stand on the boat layer, add a new layer below of it, and then using a white brush, I'll press right click. I'll use maybe this one also, but I'm gonna just make it like so thin, something like that, maybe. Yes, and then I'm gonna press, make sure it's 100% opacity, maybe press some clicks like that. Change the direction a little bit so it doesn't look like it's repeating itself. And then I'm gonna go to filter, blur, and I'm gonna go to motion blur, and then I'm gonna just increase the distance and reduce the opacity. And then just to make sure, I want to make sure it's like in the same direction of the boat. Maybe this one is a little bit off, so I'm gonna use the eraser tool and just erase it. Okay, and one thing about this, we need to use the eraser tool, make it big, and just I'll do one delete from here, or two, three maybe, because it should look here less than here, because in here this is very close to the boat and this one is far away. Okay, I guess now we're done. We'll need to do like our final adjustments. I'm gonna add brightness and contrast layer, increase the brightness and the contrast, but then I'm gonna press Ctrl and I, so I remove the effect. Then using a white brush, I'll bring back the effect at this place where I want the eyes to be attracted to, and maybe I'll do something like that. Yeah, so this is more lit. Then I'm gonna go to curves adjustment. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. Okay. Then I need now to change the colors. I'll do it in the camera raw filter. I'm gonna hold Control and Alt and Shift, then press E. It will merge everything into a new separate layer. So now I can go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And then I'll maybe increase the contrast a little bit, increase the clarity. Okay, then I'm gonna go to the FX module. I'm gonna do a little bit of vignette. See what this does. It's too strong, I believe. I'm not gonna do that. And then in the camera calibration, to color it, this is like completely upon your taste, but I like to pull this one to the left a little bit. What this does, you see, it makes the blues more cyan and the yellows and oranges more reddish. So it makes some sort of the teal orange look. So I'm gonna make it something, I don't know. You see the opposite is like green, or no, that looks like horrible. I'm just gonna move it a little bit to here. So it's more like orange and cyan than it was blue and yellow. I'll show you the before and after. I'll press Ctrl Z, Z, Z. Okay, that's the before and after. Okay, that's it for today's tutorial. If you like my video, make sure you put that thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys.